welcome to the This Week in Astrology video forecast. This is episode number 6 for the week of April 7, 2014. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Benjamin Bernstein of astroshaman.com, and I'm coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm an astrologer, shamanic healer, and awakening activator, and it's my pleasure to bring you these weekly astrology forecasts. Get ready to rock it as 2014's most powerful astrological event, a Cardinal Grand Cross, starts heating up. Launching new projects and turbocharging existing ones are energized by this aspect pattern's high-octane juju. This week's events also include a mystical and creative Venus-Neptune conjunction and a Grand Cross Mercury sideshow. Before we dive into the forecast day by day, I want to give you a very brief overview of some things coming up that might be of interest to you. This Wednesday, April 9th, here in Asheville, I'm doing a spring astrology forecast slideshow by Love Offering. We've also just scheduled a shamanic awakening weekend featuring me and 3 other accomplished healers, May 2nd through 4th near Asheville. You can do any or all of the events. They're going to include a sacred cacao ceremony, shamanic invocation, heal and awaken ceremonies, and awaken your success codes process, and shamanic breath work. And finally, Kelly Lee Phipps, my friend and astrology mentor, passed away a few days ago, and I pay tribute to him on this week's audio podcast, the This Week in Astrology audio version of what I do, and you can check that out at astroshaman.com. That's all the announcements, so let's now get on to our individual days of the week. On Monday, April 7th, Mercury transits Aries today through April 23rd. Rather than engaging in verbal assaults, use this placement for direct communication and opening to new ideas. Next up, we have a void moon, and that's kicking in at 2:14 p.m. Try not to start major new stuff or make major purchases during void moons if possible. And then the week's headline event comes up right here on our very first day. The Cardinal Grand Cross begins. Drivers, start your engines! The Cardinal Grand Cross has arrived. 2014's most powerful astrological event begins today. It peaks on April 22nd and it ends on May 9th. This aspect pattern puts Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto into a geometrical square in the cardinal signs of Libra, Cancer, Aries, and Capricorn. The heart of this pattern is the multi-year Uranus-Pluto square. In a nutshell, the Uranus-Pluto square represents revolutionary transformation. But the hard aspects it's receiving from Mars and Jupiter bring it an entirely new level of power. This Grand Cross is, I kid you not, the most powerful astrological event I have ever seen during the time I've been doing astrology. Now, this is not the time to be cowering under your bed. This is the time to be boldly striding forth and turbocharging the new things you want to start. This is the time to add another rocket engine to everything you want to take to the next level. Now, because I've already written and broadcasted exhaustively on the foundational elements of this Grand Cross, I don't want to go into that super heavy here. But more helpful information on how to make the best use of these stunningly potent energies is contained online. If you go to astroshaman.com and just go to my forecast entry for today, April 7th, 2014, you'll see I've linked to 2 different things in the forecast. I linked to my interpretation of the Jupiter-Uranus-Pluto T-square, as well as my articles on the Uranus-Pluto square. So if you'd like to go deeper on what all that means and how you can make the best use of these next several weeks, please go to astroshaman.com, go to the April 7th forecast, and check out the links. On Tuesday, April 8th, we have the moon entering Leo. That ends the void moon that started yesterday, and this is happening at 5:51 a.m. The moon in Leo is the energy of the king or queen, the energy of the performer in the spotlight. It's about play, children, the inner child, risk-taking, relaxing, and having a good time. So that energy will be a little more in the air while the moon makes its transit through Leo. Then Pallas Athena, one of our asteroid goddesses, turns direct today. This is a good time to begin implementing any plans you have in the areas of feminine assertiveness, strategic thinking, and practical creativity. Also today, here on Tuesday, April 8th, we have a Sun-Mars opposition. The Sun's around 19 Aries, Mars is around 19 Libra. Relationship conflict is one way that an opposition between the Aryan Sun and Libran Mars can express itself. But why not use this aspect more positively by focusing on exercise and athletics, win-win sexuality, meeting new people, and pouring fresh energy into your creative expression. And by the way, if you see a little bit of tail or something come up here, I just had a cat come up into my lap, and I think she wants to be part of this video. I don't know if you got to see her or not, but maybe. On Wednesday, there are no events, so we're going to zoom right along to Thursday, April 10th, and we have another void moon kicking in. It's at 2:26 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Next up, the moon and Pallas Athena make conjunction. That's going to happen around 8 a.m. here on Thursday. And when the moon conjuncts a planet for a few hours either side of that, its energy gets a little bit accentuated. So Pallas Athena is the asteroid goddess who rules feminine assertiveness, practical creativity, and strategic planning. And finally, the void moon that started earlier today wraps up as the moon enters Virgo, and that will be at 6:08 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. The moon in Virgo is the energy of service, precision, fine-tuning, and health. On Friday, April 11th, we open with a Sun-Saturn quincunx. The Sun is at 22 Aries and Saturn is at 22 Scorpio. Are your initiatives not going exactly as planned? With Saturn quincunx the Arian Sun, be prepared to make adjustments to get past any roadblocks. Using Saturn's positive qualities, including maturity, discipline, time management, and well-planned work, will help you move forward. Next up, one of our highlight events for the week, a Venus-Neptune conjunction. Both planets are around 7 degrees Pisces. This provides a sweet spot in an otherwise intense week. This dreamy, otherworldly joining is ideal for merging with your spiritual essence, inspired creativity, and perceiving the divine in everything you encounter. At the same time, make sure that you're not excessively idealizing a relationship, overdoing sensual indulgence, or playing out a victim-victimizer dynamic. Also today, busy day, we have a sort of a Grand Cross variant, if you will, a fifth player added to the tightening cardinal Grand Cross. Arian Mercury, quickly catching up to Uranus, opens the door to mental breakthroughs, original thinking, and the transformation of beliefs that no longer serve. Now, the longer-running Cardinal Grand Cross is indisputably the Big Tent event, while this Mercury sideshow peaks on April 14th and wraps up on April 17th. Looking at the weekend, we only have 2 minor events. On Saturday, April 12th, we have a void moon, and on Sunday, April 13th, we have the moon entering Libra. And I should probably give you the timing on that void moon. The Saturday void moon begins at 1:12 p.m., goes overnight, and then the moon hits Libra on Sunday at 4:34 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. The moon in Libra is great for relating and creativity and a general sense of harmony, balance, and ease. On next week's show, oh my God, if I've ever seen a more powerful astrological week, I cannot remember it. Here's what we've got on April 14th on next week's video forecast. We're going to talk about Jupiter opposing Pluto and squaring Uranus. We're going to have a lunar eclipse of significant power. We're going to have that Grand Cross involving Mercury peaking that week. Among all the things it's doing, Mercury will be making 5 aspects. It's going to square Jupiter, conjunct Uranus, square Pluto, oppose Mars, and quincunx Saturn. Venus is also heavily into aspects next week. She's going to trine Jupiter, sextile Pluto, quincunx Mars, and conjunct Chiron. The Sun will enter Taurus. Pluto will turn retrograde. And if that wasn't enough, 2 more aspect patterns, 2 grand trines forming in, they have some common planets, but we have one with Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn, and a much longer one. It's going to run a couple of months with Jupiter, Chiron, and Saturn. So wow. If you're into astrology, please come to next week's video forecast because I'll have a lot to talk about. So thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my Benjamin Bernstein YouTube channel to be notified when I post new videos. And if you like this video, please share it. This free video forecast is a partner project with iTunes' #1 astrology audio podcast, This Week in Astrology, and that's also free. You can get my weekly astrology forecast in writing by subscribing to my free email newsletter at astroshaman.com. Once you're there, you can also link to my Facebook page and Twitter feed where I post daily forecasts. My personal services include astrology, shamanic healing, and awakening activation. All are equally effective in person or long distance. My guarantee makes my services risk-free. If you don't feel that your experience was helpful, there's no charge. I also offer other great products and services, many of which are free. You can learn more at astroshaman.com. Thanks again for watching. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light